Welcome in, everybody that is watching. This is JD's Home Improvements. Tonight's video is basically going to be based on the Lord because He's been good to us. Um, just my sister, she's okay. She's all right. She's hanging in there. Um, Mainly this week and uh this Friday, we're all gonna be busy. Probably not doing horrible things, but hopefully the best things that God and Jesus would appreciate. And that don't mean for crazy people to go and do drinking and carrying on this, that, and the other. So you basically want to just follow up and just focus on the Lord, basically. Um, because I'm gonna tell you, drugs and alcohol will mess up your life. I don't care who you are. It will mess you up. And you know, I don't drink, and I'm blessed for that. I don't do that stuff. I don't smoke that hard stuff. You know, I just look back at what I can actually do for a living and what I can do for myself. And I ain't drank pop in so long now that because I'm on a diet. I ate some apples today and some grapes just to fit in with my diet, and some bananas, and then I had a taco. So, I don't drink a whole lot of that pop no more. So it's just, you got to, it's slowing me down. And, like I said in the past video, I can't be mad at the doctor, because he's probably just trying to look out for me. And, that's where we all have to look into. We all got to look into the good things and not the bad and the worst, because in the long run, everything's going to be hard and trickier. But then you got to love for your family. You got to care for your family. And that's the same with, being with your customers and working with your customers. You got to be good to them and know what they want and wait until, they tell you what to go and do. Like whatever it is that they want, want painted, or whatever light bulbs they, don't work anymore. You want them to tell you where it's at, what it is. And you just don't want to go and take advantage of that person and then just start painting out of the blue when they don't what when you don't even know what they want painted. You got to wait for them to tell you what you want painted. And you know and I'm going to tell you, drugs and alcohol will mess up your life, because I don't do that type of stuff. I never will touch it. And with life, you just got to enjoy it, because you only live for a short amount of time. Like, yeah, we can live now, but you can be born again if God lets you. Because I'm gonna tell you, we're all sinners. We are. You know, if- we've all told lies. We've all done something that we shouldn't have done. But in the long run, you got to do what's right for the God, what's right for the Lord. And I got to do better myself going to church. You know, Wednesday I tried to go, but I couldn't find a ride. So Sunday night I'm going to try to go the best I can and try to get that word of God in my head and try to get what the Bible says in my head, and go up and go about reading it in my phone and seeking into that Bible, because there's not a whole lot that God has for us. You know, yes, I print off stuff off my computer once I type it in and get it picturized in my head, so that way I know what to talk about. We're all sinners. And I'm not going to tell you, our president is not a preacher. He's just a a president that's trying to do his best on trying to make things right, but he's got to try harder. And it's not his fault, you know. He's not the one who's raising prices and this, that, and the other. You know, that's just beyond what it is, you know. And but I'm gonna tell you, government is not free. You got to pay for the gas. You got to, there's things that you got to pay for and realize what you're paying for. Because I'm gonna tell you, that is not for free, and there ain't nothing in life that's free. You just gotta pay. You pay for it. You just have to. And that one and you're not gonna be the only people that do what you gotta do to come as a sinner or anything like that. Because I'm gonna tell you, we've all done something. We've all done something that we shouldn't have done, and we got in trouble for it. We've all told lies about it, saying that we didn't do something, but we actually did it. You know. But I'm gonna tell you, soul saving and soul winning is two different things, as well as wants and needs. They're two different things as well. So what you kind of want to focus on is doing what's right and not what's wrong. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm a preacher. I kind of do want one. I kind of want to be one, but at the same time, that's not within this career. This career is just based on painting and changing light bulbs and cleaning ceiling fans. And I'm gonna tell you, cleaning a ceiling fan is what I did today. I got my ladder, went up on it, and cleaned that ceiling fan today, and it blows just perfect. Yeah, I had it on, come in here the second time, like I left the room, came back in, and I was froze right out of my mind. That fan is working great now. So now I can probably sleep peacefully and not even have anything to worry about with that thing not even, you know, malfunctioning right, because now it'll malfunction perfect, and it'll make things cold. But I got a guitar here that's you know a Yamaha F310, and it plays just like it plays just like a brand new guitar still, and I'm still basically learning it. That night that I said I was gonna wind up going to church, which was last night, I didn't wind up going. Um, so and here I sit. But I did happen to be on here that night, last night. So, and quite a few people watched, and I will say this: I get more subscribers than I ever will if I go live on my phone. I hardly ever get any when I'm on a laptop. I don't know why that is. It's just maybe my phone lets off more, and it just goes with that flow. And when I'm on this computer, it just goes off slowly. I don't know, but I do put it out on Facebook, on my business Facebook, now that I have it opened up. Um, Friends and family are on there. They can check it out, do this, that, and the other. And like I said, it's JD's Home Improvements. I do want to focus on getting some business cards made, but that takes money, and it takes also that time to. It takes time, and when you work a long day, you kind of want to come home, settle down, take your socks and shoes off, sit on the couch for a little while, take a shower, cook dinner, whatever, take care of your wife, whatever it may be. There you could, and you know it's not all that when you know what you're doing within lawn care or whatever it is that you're falling in with, and do in whatever career that you want to do. But you also want to make sure that it is right and everything is right. Now, I've done a little bit of plumbing, but that was with somebody at the church and everything like that, and that's not in my category as plumbing or any insulation, anything like that, electrical. It's just not in my concept. I'm just a handyman that does small things, changing out light bulbs. We've been over this. I'm not going to say it over and over, but that's just the stuff that I do. And I still get calls about, hey, do you do plumbing? Hey, do you do insulation? Hey, do you do roofing? Hey, do you do shingles? Do you lay them up on the roof? Oh, do you build sheds? Oh, do you do this? Or do you do that? No, I just do, like I say, the small little things. I don't remodel. I mean, I do remodel, but that's helping somebody. That's different than doing it myself because really I don't know that math that well. So I just do the small things. I do carry the tape measures, the tools, and everything with me for these certain jobs. But it's a ongoing thing once you know what you're doing with it. Once you know what you're doing with every little concept and every little thing, you'll know right where you're at. And that's another thing. That's where you got to have faith. You can't just, overthink yourself and think bad things. You got to have faith. Like if you're thinking, "Oh, my business ain't going to grow," that's the bad. The main thing is to stay positive. You want to be you don't want none of that negativity or this, that, and the other. You want to make sure that you're staying within the positivity, not negative, positive. So, meaning if you're thinking positive, oh yeah, I'm going to get called into work. I'm going to get all kinds of stuff getting into, and I'm going to make all this money. And once I get all this money, I can just spend it all on good tools and not even get some bad tools. That's what that is. Um, but you don't want to think bad. You want to think, the good. And I learned that the hard way is because I would always think bad, but now I'm doing way much better where I'm at. So now I'm just looking forward and ahead of myself to where, everything's gonna be all right. Yeah, I have my ups and downs, some here and there, but it's all you just can't when that happens, you can't take it out on friends and family, this, that, and the other, you know, because your friends and family is always gonna be there for you no matter what. They might not be there up until you need something, a hand with a job or taking something here and taking something there, here and there. But friends and family is the best thing that you could ever have. So that's why you gotta have you gotta have experience, whatever you want to call it. And you just want to make sure that you're doing whatever it is to to make sure that it's better for whoever it is that you're trying to help. And just respect elders. You can't be rude to multiple people because I'm going to tell you straight up, if you're rude to somebody, you're just going to lose a job. You ain't going to be within that job for however long you think you're going to be there. Because if you're rude to them, they're just going to tell you, "Hey, grab your stuff and get." No, they're like that. They don't play games. These jobs, they don't play games. And I'm gonna tell you, if I was to take somebody on and hire them to where they help me do this, do that, just however, and they do, and then I catch them drinking on a job, doing this, doing that, they're fired right there. They ain't gonna be working for me that long, especially if they're rude to me. If they're rude to me, I'm just gonna tell them, get your stuff, and yeah, you know. So top of the line is respect elders and friends because that's all you got. Like I said at the very beginning of this live, you know, we have a short amount of time and I'm going to tell you something that you have in common with the Lord. He's always going to watch over that because it's in between you and Him. He ain't going to tell everybody else, you know, because I'm going to tell you, um, I'm going to tell you, the devil, he just lies and wants everything to go with you. But, that's the devil for you. You want to follow the Father, and the Father is God. He's always going to be a Father. He's always going to be there for you, no matter what. So if you guys could pray every night, every morning, and He'll touch you. He touches me every day. He gets me through a day. He gets me through a day without a doubt. And that's just common sense right there, because faith is the top of the line for you. Yeah, you might call somebody a name, but you could even call something like the Lord a name, and but you know something, that's not going to be right, because the Lord, he don't like when you use his name in vain. He don't like it. That's even with cursing. He don't like that. He don't even like the Lord don't even like ugly. And like I say, I'm not a preacher. I just come on here, make stuff happen. And if you guys got any questions or anything, you can contact me without a problem. But I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I ain't no preacher. I just come on here and just talk about whatever's on my mind. And I'm not gonna let it stop me. I will give you that. But without a doubt, you gotta follow the Lord and God. Those two people, but you don't want, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't want to follow the devil. The devil is not gonna want something for you. God and Jesus and everybody that's good people. He they're good people that you want to follow. But the devil is not the person to follow. And I wish I could pray on here, but I just can't. I wish the best for y'all. I do. But it is what it is, and YouTube will cut me off if I pray right here and right now. That's how it is. But if you watch Bethel Baptist Church of Riverview, Florida, they do all the praying and whatever. And another one is the Striking Iron podcast. They talk about the Bible. They do prison ministries and stuff like that. And then you got whoever else you want to watch on YouTube, whether it's me or whoever's out there famous. I'm not going to say that I'm famous because I'm not there yet. I might have 103 videos or 103 subscribers, but I ain't popular that yet. Now, if somebody sees me out in public or whatever, and they see me in work clothes saying, "Oh yeah, this is the handyman," let's take a photo with him. So be it. I'll do it. I'm not gonna just be all terrified and just scared and this, that, and the other. Because what's there to be scared of? If you ain't doing nothing wrong and you want people to greet you and carry on, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. But tacos is the best thing that you could ever eat. But the worst thing I'm gonna tell you that you can put in your body is a can of potted meat. That's one of the worst things there. And I'm gonna tell you, I watched a little bit of Larry the Cable Guy, and I love that guy. I just do. He's funny. He's popular, and without a doubt, I kind of want to see him in person. But he's got to come to Florida. He's got to come to where I'm at. And I'm gonna tell you, I get a lot of questions about Larry the Cable Guy. But, I don't think that he's overweight or nothing. I just think that he's cool. You know, Same as Spencer's Lawn Care. I watch them a lot. They're good. And everything like that. They're all right people. They're totally all right. I ain't got nothing against them. I ain't got nothing against myself, because I'm gonna tell you, I love the Lord and I love who He is. He's nothing but the good guy and a good father that we could all have. We just got to keep continuing on following the Father of the Lord. Catch me back on here at 6:30 next Wednesday, and next Thursday 7:30 again. But that's it for tonight's video so far. I just didn't want to take too much time of y'all. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but stay tuned for more videos and more likes and stuff like that. And we'll stay tuned. When I got more stuff to talk about, I will talk about it. But just keep following the Lord, because He's good for us, and just stay away from drugs and alcohol and beer, because it's not any good for you. And just as of right now, just keep praying for my sister to to hope that she'll come to my church and meet the pastor, meet everybody that I talk with and talk to, and hang out with. Pray for them youngins. Pray for my aunt. Just pray for everybody around me. Friends and family is the best thing we could have. We couldn't do it without anybody, but you know, I wouldn't be here right now today if it wasn't for the Lord. I'm gonna tell you. All right. I believe nothing without a doubt. Without a doubt, I love and see where I'm gonna be winding up. Um, and I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I do believe I'm going to a good place when I die. So, without a doubt, I love every single one of you. And just catch me back here whenever I'm back live. And catch y'all later. JD's Home Improvements out.